desert scream. My Shangri-La beneath the summer moon. I will return again.
Please welcome back to the stage, John DeMonda.
So my kids have been harassing me all morning, so I decided I'm going to embarrass them a little bit, and I want to introduce my family here. My wife, Suzanne, my son, Christian, Anthony. Come on, stand up and say hello to everybody. Christian, Anthony, Jillian, Renee, and JJ. You notice they're all in height order. So, all right, we're in for a special treat here, and I see we have some of the kids' camp came in. Mike Rayburn is a two-time TED Talker. He has headlined on the Strip in Las Vegas and received standing ovations in all 8 of his performances at Carnegie Hall. And I talked to some of the folks that were here early in the week from the last conference, and they said that his presentation was phenomenal. So please give a warm Lincoln Financial Advisor welcome to Mike Rayburn.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. I did that because I can, actually. My people. No. I did that because the guitar is the best way that I have to illustrate something that I am passionate about. It's what I do, and it's why I'm here. I believe that we are each capable of far more than we ever knew was possible. Regardless of our level of success, which is awesome in this room, we are each a gold mine of unrealized potential. And I think that we are surrounded every moment of the day by opportunities to access that potential, opportunities that we miss, opportunities to step beyond what's been done before, to look at old things in a new way, not change for the sake of change, but change for the sake of improvement. For me, to try to play the guitar a little differently than it's been played for the last 500 years. So would you basically agree with that? That's my people. So the question becomes, how do we access that potential? Or more specifically, in light of the changes, which you've heard enumerated this morning, and you know are going on, DOL, fiduciary rule, the changes in the way people are doing business, just the way they want to do business, changes in the technological landscape. How do we take those and find the innovation, find the opportunity in those challenges? How do we take the level of success, which you have all achieved, and begin to look at that right now as simply a launching pad for what's next? So what I want to do is give you the 3 tools to do just that. And let's acknowledge the elephant in the room. You've got to wonder, okay, what in the world are we going to learn about financial services from Kumbaya Boy. Musicians being known for their financial prowess. And if you're looking for specifics, maybe not that much. But it's not about the specifics. The cool thing is what it takes for each of us as a human being, just because we're humans, to be able to step beyond what's been done before is exactly the same. So I'm going to go through these tools one at a time. I'm going to illustrate them, which is the fun part. And then I'm going to attempt to prove that they work by doing 2 pieces of music I thought were completely impossible to do on one acoustic guitar. Cool? We good? Okay, let's jump in. The first tool, to change anything, the first thing it has to change is our brains, the way we think. There is an inertia to the old way of thinking that wants to just keep doing the same thing. The most basic human brain function, cognitive function, is to ask questions. Our brains, thousands of times a day, are like computers, asking and answering questions about whatever stimuli is going on in our lives. Say you're driving. Which direction am I going? Is the light turning red or green? Should I turn left or right? What did she say? What did she mean by what she said? It's a guy question. So right away, in an awesome location like Whistler, you're going to have a lot of great things going on today. What I would love for you to do is just try this for me. Start to notice, observe the questions that your brain asks and answers as you experience new things. It's the self-talk. It's usually not questions that are verbalized. And the types of questions that we've learned to ask do nothing less than define the quality of our lives. If we're asking questions that open up the possibilities, that's the kind of existence that we're creating. And of course, if we're not, we're not. And the questions that we ask seem natural to us, but they're not. They were programmed into us from an early age by well-meaning but misguided family members, experiences that we had growing up, different environments that we grew up in. The cool thing is if they're not natural, you have a choice. We change the types of questions. We simply ask about the same thing that everyone's looking at, and we get different and better results. And while there are many great questions, I'm actually writing a book on this, I want to share with you my favorite. It's absolutely simple. You've totally heard this before, I know. I'm just going to invite you for the next few minutes to revisit it. And the question is, what if? What if? When you ask the question, what if, in a positive way, by definition, every time you'll open up the possibilities. Hey, what if we did that? What would it look like? What if we could do that? How would it work? Now, I will bet that all of us have or have had somewhere in our lives the naysayers, the ones who shoot every good idea down, the ones who are just have this negative disposition. They would throw a wet blanket on things like, oh, you can't do that. Are we really going to try that? That seems kind of hard. My favorite. We've never done it that way before, right? You've got them probably somewhere in your life. And if you don't have them anywhere in your life, be careful because it might be you. Not in this room, I know. Here's what I like to do with the naysayers because I get them all the time. I'm an artist. I get some pretty unusual ideas. And if you don't believe that, search my name on YouTube. I've tried different things performance-wise. I like to take some risks, try some different things. So I'll come up with an idea. And I have certain people I know in my life are going to be like, oh, man, are you really going to? I'm like, you're right. This is crazy. But what if we did it? I know we can't. I know it's probably not going to even happen. But what if we did? How would it work? It's cool. It's what I would call conditional surrender. You are surrendering to their point of view. You're right, this is crazy. But you're moving on with a solution, a new idea, product, process, whatever it is, anyway. Which is awesome because it will open up opportunities for you every time. It will, over time, increase all your results. I guarantee that. And it pisses them off, and I like that. There are 2 powers behind the question, what if? First of all, doesn't mean you're going to do it. Whatever this idea, this concept, this new process, or whatever it is, doesn't mean you're going to do this. Counterintuitively, a lack of commitment at the front end is actually a huge strength because if there's nothing on the line, at that moment, absolutely anything is possible. And that's where we want to start. Let's set aside the old thinking. And Lord knows, in your environment right now, you've got a lot of chances to do this. Set aside the old thinking, step into the new, and say, hey, what if we could do that? What would it look like? And here's the thing. The old thinking is still there. You can pick it up. There's nothing that says you can't do it. But hey, let's be willing to just set it aside and go, well, what if we could do this? How would it happen? That's one strength. The other strength is because questions define the way we think. When we learn to ask the question as a habit, just as we go through the day, you've reprogrammed your brain to where you are walking through life no longer looking for reasons you can't. As a default, you're looking for reasons that you can. It is an absolutely simple change. It is profound in the effects it will have. I guarantee you. I practice this in my life daily. I learned this by playing for drunk people tethered to the bar. I don't know. I had this dream of playing guitar, and I started like a lot of people do in clubs and bars. And right away, I got people yelling out stupid requests under the alkafluence of alcohol. It's an old joke, but thank you. And I didn't know what to do with that. And I started to look bad because I didn't know how to handle it. And we've all seen someone on stage who's not doing very well, and that was me every time I got one of these requests. And then something cool happened. I got fed up. There's a wisdom to that. If the results that you're getting are not where you want to be yet, get fed up. That's when things change. So I knew something had to change. I went in the next night, not knowing what it would be, and I started into my set. And 4 or 5 songs into it, I got one of these crazy groups yelling something out, strength in numbers. They're just doing their thing. And it was a weird request. And I started into the old pattern, right? I started to shy away from it. And then I thought, no. And I have no idea why it popped into my head. Thank you. I thought, what if I could? And it didn't mean I went and learned the song. First of all, for the first time, I turned into the challenge rather than away from it. And we've heard that, to confront the thing you fear and the fear will go away. But that's, a step beyond that, not to just diffuse it, but to actually use this thing. So I thought, what if I could? And it didn't mean I went and learned the song. I changed it. I did something with the lyric or the artist. Whatever I did, they laughed, which was a new result, but it was a good result. Okay, cool. So I went on. And I tried it again. I got another weird request. I tried it, and it worked again. And the people who were coming to hear me regularly were going, whoa, what's up with Mike? This is kind of different. This is kind of fun. Over time, the very requests which were holding me back turned out to be there to deliver to me everything I wanted. Everything I love about my career, being a comedian, being a professional speaker, everything came from these bad requests. So, as we go through some of these, I would love for you, just in the back of your mind, start to think about whatever it is in your life or your business that holds you back, that you dread, that you avoid. There's that one thing or that cloud in your life, that thing that won't go away. We're going to circle back on that in a second. But right now, we're going to try some of these. These are songs you've probably heard before, but not the way I'm going to do them. And I listen to everything, so we're jumping around. I actually got requests for what they call the boy bands. Instinct, Slack Street Boys, or my favorite, Savage Garden. I want to stand with you on the mountain. I want to be with you in the sea. I want to lay like this forever until the sky falls down on me. Yeah, yeah. So, what if I could? Here's the cool thing. When you ask and answer the question, you're coming up with a solution that is totally yours. It is a product of your abilities and experiences. No one else would have come up with it. I'm going to talk about that in a second, too. Here's how I heard that song. Oh, yeah, boy bands, you have to have choreography. I was your dream, I was your wish, I was your fantasy. I was your life, I was everything you want me to be. But you were mean and you were bad and then you lied to me. You were the worst, you did it all, you even cheated on me. I wanna throw you off of a mountain. I wanna hold you under the sea. I wanna lay you to rest forever till the police come looking for me. Yeah, yeah. What if? If you enjoyed that, we're gonna have a good time today. In fact, check this out. I use that question, what if, to write a Christmas song for my friend Philippe upon hearing the results of his paternity test. Yeah, where's this going? Philippe's not a dad. Philippe's not a dad. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. But you'll sing that for 2 weeks, man. It'll get stuck. Now, if I had to say that there's a common denominator with every organization that I present for, but you guys are dealing with it definitely as much or more really than anyone, it's change. Clients tell me we're trying to manage change, and you guys get it. Change in the regulations, which not just the fiduciary rule, but there's other things coming as well. Changes in technology, the way people want to do business. Peter Drucker summed up my philosophy perfectly. He said, managing change is not only stupid, it's dangerous. The only way to manage change is to create change. And now my words, to be the ones who step out and define the curve rather than follow it. And I would argue, first of all, with the financial position and other positions in the marketplace that Lincoln Financial is in right now, you are uniquely positioned to be the ones where it's not just a good idea to drive change. You're the ones who are going to do it. If it's going to happen, it's going to come from you. I would also argue with the level of success of everyone in this room, it is incumbent upon you, again, it's mandatory. It's not an option. This is what has to happen. The innovation's coming. I would also argue that when you ask the question, what if, either individually or as a small team, I love it when teams will get together, 4 or 5 people, whatever, and say, hey, based on what we can see happening and coming, what if? What if we tried this new process, this new idea, this new way of looking at things? What if we have a problem a year from now? What's it likely to be? Solve that, and you are way ahead of the game. That when you ask that, those solutions that you're coming up with, either individually or as a team, are yours. They're a product of your abilities and experiences. This is where your unique thing in life causes huge success. It is literally, when we'll act on those solutions you come up with, this is literally where innovation starts. And it's in every one of us to do it. Now, the way change has been a big issue for me. I've talked about it, I've written about it a lot. And it was a big thing for me because I grew up in Virginia and North Carolina playing blues and rock more than anything. After college, I moved to Nashville, Tennessee, and the requests changed. And when people request country, it's not, could you play some country? It's, country, come on! Okay? And they're packing, you got to do it. And I didn't know what to do with that. And I was a fish out of water. I was lost, And that's when I come up against things that challenge me like that or against the impossible, that's when I ask, what if? And I thought, but what if I could? On stage in this pressure environment. And a weird idea hit me. But I've been doing it ever since then. I took the songs I do know and played them country. It's a whole new genre. And for me, the first one that came out was Tom Petty. She's a good girl, loves her mama, loves Jesus and America too. She's a good girl, she's crazy about Elvis, loves horses and her boyfriend too. Now I'm free falling. Yes, I'm free falling. Yes, I'm free. It works. What if? And of course, the idea is to make this a habit. So you just become that possibility thinker. And trust me, your clients, your customers will love you for this. Because what you're doing is you're giving them hope. You're giving them an idea of what that future's look like. And you know that, but I'm just giving you another way to sort of inspire that. And I found a way to quiz myself to stay in that place. This is strange, but I can do any song country, any song, and I'll prove it. Who let the dogs out? Who let them dogs out? That's a country song. Any type of music, too. They keep trying to catch me riding dirty. I mean, we got 7 hip-hop fans. It's okay. We'll do more, more recognizable hip-hop. We'll reach out. Let's see. It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. Anyone over 30, that was Nelly. Me too. We go to classic rock. Buddy, you're an always maker, big boy playing in the street. Gonna be a big man someday. Got mud on your face, a big disgrace. Somebody better put you back into your place. We will rock you. We will rock you. We will rock you. We'll do one more. Flo Rida. Apple bottom jeans and the boots with the fur. The whole club was looking at her. She hit the floor. Next thing you know, shawty got low, 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 low. It works. What if? Did you notice that's a Beverly Hillbillies theme? That's pretty good. Now, I think when we imagine change and we hear the word change, we think of something that didn't exist, but someone has an idea, they create it, and now it does. And sometimes that's the case. But haven't you noticed that some of the most profound, I would argue most of the most profound and effective changes that have ever happened have simply been someone who looked at something that was in front of everyone, but used it a little differently, or saw a different angle at it, or someone who took a group of things, a couple things, that were there in front of everyone, but put them together differently than had been done before, and it changes everything. Great example of this is Apple's iPod. People don't think about the iPod now because it's an afterthought, really, on an iPhone. But when the iPod came out, it changed everything. Not just the entire consumer electronics industry, which it did, but it changed the entire entertainment industry. And as a lifelong member of that industry, I can tell you that is not easy. We buy and sell music on iTunes single-handedly because of the iPod. So that's beyond change, disruption. That's transformation. So something brand new, right? Wrong. The day the iPod came out, it was nothing more than MP3 technology, which had existed for at least 10 years beforehand. Every major consumer electronics company had it. Sony had it, Toshiba had it, Nakamichi, Yamaha, they all had it. The difference is, Apple was willing to say, what if? What if we take it, make it a little smaller, put a little dial, bring in these earbuds that don't fit? They're better now. And when they did, it changed everything. And what I'm saying to you is that I definitely 100% believe that those opportunities to greater and lesser degrees exist in front of all of us right now. We just have to unearth them. And what if is one great way to do that. Now, the way this worked for me, I would play in these clubs, and people would yell all these requests at the same time. And I had a cutoff time. I had to fit them all in, and it wouldn't work. It was impossible. Again, so the impossible comes up, and I think, what if I could? And a weird idea hit me. I put them together. I would choose 2 of the artists they yelled. I'd do an imitation of that one, sing that one's hit song, knock off 2 songs, 1 shot. We'll do these. This is Bob Marley, the king of reggae, right? Sings Garth Brooks. Yeah, if you like either one of them, you're going to hate this. I got good friends in low places where whiskey drowns and beer chases my blues away. We jump on. You got the idea? What if? Shoot, we could do these all day. I don't have enough time, but I'll do a couple. You remember this song? Farm living is a life for me. Good, I just wondered. But it's like Green Acres, get in the trailer. It ain't home till you take the wheels off. I don't know, thank you. No, what if? We got to do this one for Randy. This is Bruce Springsteen. Sings Green Acres. We got enough time. I'm going to try this. Oh, Springsteen. Green Acres is a place to be. Farm living is a life for me. Land spread now so far and wide. Man, how do you meet the other side? New York is right around the steel. The kid is so allergic to smelling hay. Oh, God, I love you, but give me Park Avenue. Oh, oh, oh. My people. And don't lose the metaphor. I wouldn't teach this if it didn't keep working. Seriously, I get emails from attendees who'll say, I had this challenge, and I thought, what if? And it came up, and we got this new idea, this thing that's working now. Companies who've had great sales increases, and they've a guy from Orkin called me and said, hey, man, this worked for us. And what I'm just reminding you of what's already in you. And you could not be in this room if you're not an influencer in a pretty major way. And so it's my hope that you'll not just apply this, which I do hope you'll do, but not just apply it, but take it and inspire it in others, that possibility. Because again, you're giving them hope. And the best way to do that, to influence anyone in general, is always to jump into their world, however you can find to do that. Jump into their world, relate to them on their level. And I've learned this for a number of reasons, but one is because I have kids. I have a son named Zachary, who's 12, who's actually, I don't know if he's in the room, but he's actually on this trip with me. And I have a daughter named Seneca, who's 15, going on 40. She knows everything. Oh, she's good. She's awesome. And so with Zachary, growing up, we would read to the kids. And Zachary's favorite was Dr. Seuss. And we want him to ask the question, what if? We want him to not lose that curiosity about the world, And so, that tender moment when you're reading together. And Zachary looks up, Daddy, what if you did Dr. Seuss in your show? And that's an awesome question. That's exactly what we're talking about here. And then who teaches this, said, but I do guitar and comedy and speaking, and that's a children's book, so it really would, but Daddy, what if? He got it, and I didn't, right? So I had to step up. So this is Dr. Seuss as performed by Led Zeppelin. Do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam. I am. Would not, could not in a box. I would not, could not with a fox. Sam, I am. My people. Now, to jump into my daughter's world, I became a Taylor Swift fan. Oh, yeah. And I'm a genuine fan. I think Taylor's awesome. And so Seneca is my daughter. Seneca and I are sitting down. We're talking about Taylor's big song called You Belong With Me. And if you don't know the song, let me set up the story. In the song, Taylor is the girl next door. She's got this thing for the cool guy in high school, but he's got the snooty cheerleader girlfriend, right? And it's a play between the two girls. So Seneca and I are talking about it, and we're playing with the question, what if? And she knows I do parodies and things like that. So she's kind of got an idea. And together, we came up with a great what if question and an angle for the whole song. In fact, she's a co-writer. It's the title track to my latest CD, and she's a co-writer on it. What if we rewrite the whole song from the male perspective? Switching the roles, sung by a male, but representing a segment of male society in high school, which I feel has been grossly underrepresented thus far in song. You're on the phone with your boyfriend, he's upset, he's going off about the homework he doesn't get. He'll never know mathematics like I do. I'm at the library studying for a test. He's been out hitting mailboxes with a bat. He'll never know quantum physics like I do. But he wears muscle shirts, I wear bow ties. He's good looking and I forgot to zip my fly. I'm dreaming of the day that you wake up and find that what you really want is a superior mind. If you could see that I'm the best at Nintendo home monitor, then why can't you see? You need a nerd like me. You need a nerd like me. Walking with you through the halls of the Science Museum, talking all about Pythagorean theorem, looking at my comic books, thinking to myself, I bet she likes Star Trek, and you've got a brain that would make Albert Einstein proud. You use words that your boyfriend can't pronounce. The only thing you have in common with him is that you're both way into him, 'cause he plays football, I'm in the chess club, he's team captain, and I collect rare bugs. I've only got brains, he's got the brawn, but in 10 years he'll be mowing my lawn. If you could see that I'm the best at Nintendo home monitor, then why can't you see? You need a nerd like me. If you could see that I play Dungeons and Dragons, got a scholarship to MIT, he'll get a GED. He'll get a GED. More people. You gotta watch that video on YouTube. I can brag, I had a director and actors do it. I'm just strumming along. It's very funny. Anyway, we're having fun with these requests, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. When I got them, they were not funny. They scared me to death. And what we're doing today, simply by asking the question, what if, is three things I've purposely not pointed out until now. Number one, we're taking a huge problem and we're poking fun at it. We are making fun of the problem. We are bringing levity to the problem. And I mean to do that. And the reason I say to do that is, I don't know if you've noticed, but that's not what we tend to do with problems. As soon as we get problems, you know what we do? We deify them. We take problems, we set them on pedestals and worship them. It drives me crazy. Watch what happens. As soon as there's a problem, have you heard about the problem? Oh gosh, there's a problem. Yes, seriously. Oh, it's a problem. Oh, man. There's a meeting about the problem and a memo about the problem and a meeting about the memo about the problem. And you've never experienced that, of course, but I'm not saying to diminish the importance of solving it. To the contrary, it's impossible to make fun of something without standing outside of it. The very act of humor, levity, bringing humor or levity to the problem, causes a natural distance, a new and better perspective because of that distance, and I'll guarantee you a better solution every time. What if is one great way to find the levity or the fun in the problem. In an appropriate way, of course, depending on the problem. But to bring levity to it, to lighten it up, to humanize it, to bring it down to earth a little bit, right? And in fact, I travel a lot. I go through airports, and people will say, well, what do you do? And one of the ways I explain it is I say, I'm just teaching artistic principles in a business or a life context, right? So artistic principles. You study stand-up comedy, sketch comedy, improv comedy, any one of them. The first thing they teach you is become observational. Stand outside of it. That humor causes us to get that. And anyone can do this. What if is a great way to tap into that. That's one. Number two, we're taking a huge problem, and the moment the problem happens, we're not looking at it as a problem. We are intentionally saying, what if there's an opportunity in this? What would it be? We're looking for that opportunity. I mean, these requests that I dreaded brought out the best in everything I did. It just didn't look that way in the beginning. It looked like what was holding me back. So, earlier on, I asked you to think about whatever it is that holds you back, that scares you, that you dread, that you avoid, whatever that cloud is in your life or your business. What if there's something good about that? Oh, I know there's probably not, but what if there was? What would it be? Or what if there's an opportunity in it? Or perhaps it's a personal issue, which we all end up with at some point or another. What if, by overcoming it, it gave you an ability that made you unstoppable? What does it look like on the other side of that problem? That's why we get problems, by the way, is to give us, it's to deliver to us the things we want. It just doesn't look that way. And I'll be honest about this. I mean, if you've heard other speakers, everyone says this in some way or another. Problem equals opportunity, because it's true. You see little magnets on the refrigerator? There's no such thing as a problem without a gift for you, and it's solving. Which is beautiful. Which is great, but I'm a pragmatist. As soon as I hear, cute little phrases like that, it's great, but I say, all right, how? How does problem actually turn into opportunity? It's you, and it's me when we change. The problem may or may not change, but it doesn't matter. Once you've made the decision and you start acting on it, you're now leading the way. The problem's following you. It's a huge change. What if is one great way to tap into the opportunity that's inside that problem. That's number two. And number three, we're opening up our creativity. I have a book called What If that has everything that I'm talking about, everything that I'm presenting about today. And the first words in the book are, you are a genius. And I don't say that out of motivational speak, whatever. I say that because it's true. We're all creative geniuses. We're just creative in different ways. And it's my suspicion that for a lot of us, our way of being creative was a little different, stuck out, wasn't honored the right way, and so we squelched it. Or we said, no, I can't do that. And what I'm saying is we need it. You need it. Your clients, your customers need it. What if is a great way to tap into it. Right away, as soon as you say, well, what if, and you come up with solutions, that's creativity. So, we're asking what if. That's the first tool. What if I could do that? What would it look like? I know it's crazy. I know it's nuts. But what if we did? How would it happen? That's number one. That will open up the possibilities. Second tool. I want you to write music that you can't play. Write music that you cannot play. Or let's say the same thing in non-musical terms. Obviously a metaphor there. Set goals that don't exist. Set goals that don't exist, and I'll define that for you. A goal that exists. Let's say you set a goal for a 10% increase, however you would measure that over a year. Revenue, sales, profit, customer satisfaction, however you would measure that. That's a good goal, but to me it exists. Because I'm betting that for most of us, even if we can't do it yet, you could probably map out a path to a 5 or 10% increase in pretty much anything. If you don't know, I can tell you. Work harder, work longer, hire help, be more productive. Okay. And most of our goals, by the way, are this way we think as humans. We're stepwise, okay? One next after the other. And that's great. But I'm about trying to affect exponential change just because I've seen it happen too often not to. You've seen it too. So whatever time frame you set goals, try this for me. Just to see if it works. Set one goal. This will be either individually or as a small team or as an entire organization. Set one goal where when you come up with the goal, don't start with what's possible. Start with what's cool. What's right? What would be the dream case scenario? Well, people say, well, gosh, in a perfect world, I would. Yes, in a perfect world, you would what? And why is that not the goal? Oh, well, because it's impossible, and we kill it before it comes out of our mouths. I see this happen all the time. I'm seeing it in younger people now. It drives me crazy. So here's the test to know you have the kind of goal that I'm talking about. It takes courage to think it. The kind of goal that, okay, this is nuts, completes this phrase. This is nuts, but I'm gonna. What is it that's nuts, but you're gonna do it anyway? Again, individually or even as an entire group. This is crazy, but work it out. What? Once you come up with that, there's three things you gotta do with it. Number one, you gotta write it down. You can't just think about it. Because if you just think about it and then you don't do it, you'll let yourself off the hook. No, I wasn't really gonna do it, I was just thinking about it. That's the first manifestation, you see it written down. Number two, you got to commit to it. Get your heart in there. Okay, written it down. This is going to happen. I don't know how. It's crazy, but this is going to happen. We're going to do this. That's what, by the way, that's what great leaders do. Great leaders get in front of the whole group and say, folks, here's where we're going. I don't even know how to get there, but let's get started, right? Kennedy did this. He said, we're going to put a man on the moon by the end of the decade. When he said it, the technology didn't exist. In fact, it was 4 or 5 steps from existing. It exists, and we did it because he said we're going to. Well, guess what? That phenomenon doesn't just work for Kennedy. It works for anybody. So we're going to write it down. We're going to commit to it. And number 3, take physical action on the goal the moment you write it down. This is a statement of your commitment. Call somebody. Set up the team. Get the skills. Sign up for the class. Whatever, depending on your goal, whatever represents the first action toward that goal. Even if you don't know it's right. Some kind of action. If you will do this, come up with this crazy goal, write it down, commit to it, take physical action on it, the coolest thing will happen. The universe will come to your aid. You will have help with this. I don't know how it works. I don't care how it works. I don't know how electricity works, but I still flip the switch, okay? In fact, it's the same principle. The universe seems to like goals like this. I personally call it God. You can call it whatever you want to call it. So you'll come up with this goal, and you'll think it's crazy, but you'll go, okay, I'm game. I'll try this. Write it down. Commit to it. It's a great goal to make this happen. Take some action on it. Things start moving. 2 days later, you meet somebody who starts talking about it. They have an expertise that applies to it, an open door, and something. You're going, how did you know? We were just... Or you're spinning the dial on the television, and you come across, a documentary or a show you wouldn't have watched normally, but hold it. That's an idea. We could do that. Coincidences will start to happen to bring you to the goal. I don't believe they're coincidences. I believe they're brought about by that goal, prayer, intention, whatever you want to call it. I call it write music you can't play because that's how I kind of stumbled onto it. I studied classical guitar for most of my 9 years of undergraduate work. Associate's degree. In fact, I'm the only student in history with tenure. But I would get crazy ideas. I'd hear these huge pieces of music. I want to play that on a guitar. It was nuts. And I'll share a couple of goal completions with you. In the introduction, it was mentioned, I performed at Carnegie Hall. Carnegie Hall, that's the brass ring for a mission, for a musician. I thought, it's a mission too, I thought you had to study Bach for 40 years. Who knew you could get to Carnegie Hall playing AC/DC for drunk people, But you can. I had my own show on the Strip in Las Vegas. 6-month run, planned 6-month run at the V Theater Planet Hollywood. That was a goal I set for 10 years. Write it down every morning, right? I lived in Tennessee, Florida, and Virginia. And it happened in Las Vegas. How did that happen? It was this goal. I set it. It took a long time, but when it happened fast. And I don't do the show there anymore. I tour, but that's where I still live. I'm going to share a goal completion with you. I heard a piece of music in the late 1970s. I said, I'm going to do that on a guitar. And the laughter squelched any thought of doing it for a decade, literally decades. But about 8 or 10 years ago, I started digging into it. And I just say that long ago, I haven't been performing it that long. I've been working on it that long. I've only performed it more recently. I've studied the great composers, Bach, Beethoven, Mozart. This is by one of the great British composers, a guy named Freddie Mercury. You know, that's the group Queen. The piece is called Bohemian Rhapsody. So some of you are shaking your head. So you know, it's got an opera of voices. It's got a full rock band. It's got this flowing piano part that switches from classical to pop stylistically. And then it's got Freddie's unbelievable voice on the top, and I don't sing it. So it all had to come out of this instrument. So I'm going to tell you, when you have a goal like this, it will have a lot of moving parts. You will come up with a plan, and the only thing I can tell you about that plan is the goal will not go according to that plan. You have to have one, but it's going to change. And probably the most important thing I can share with you, remember this, to do things that you have never done, you need to start by doing things that you've never done. Sounds kind of trite, but it's actually profound. I had to develop techniques and things, you'll see them and hear them, that I didn't have to make this overall piece happen. So I'm going to try it for you. This is a Bohemian Rhapsody. Thank you. Yeah. Guitar Hero? Play that. I still think it needs more cowbell. So you follow me. It's Saturday Night Live. I got a fever, and the only cure is more cowbell. Christopher Walken, I'm sorry. Anyway, I digress. So we're asking what if? What if I could do that? What would it look like? From those possibilities, you're writing music that you can't play, setting goals that don't exist. Richard Bach once wrote, here's a test to see if your purpose in life is over. If you're alive, it isn't. Okay? Yeah. So that means there's a profound and a divine and a wonderful reason. We're all here, literally in these seats, whatever's going on in our lives right now. And we could talk about motivation. People call me a motivational speaker. It's like, okay, I don't call it that, but how do we motivate ourselves or the people around us? Almost always two things that work in tandem, and they're never mentioned up here. And by the way, I will in one sentence sum up every conference you will ever attend for the rest of your life. It's ways to get you to do stuff. Okay? And that's not wrong, that's good, okay? But we learn exciting, motivating ways to do stuff. And we take notes, and we get handouts, and we get PowerPoints, right? And then we go home, and they go in a file or a drawer, and we go right back to doing it the same two ways that were never mentioned, but I'll tell you what they are. Reward and punishment. That's the way we do it. Reward and punishment. Reward, you get more money. Punishment, you get fired, okay? In school, A, F. Reward and punishment, right? And I'm not putting that down. I mean, it's effective to a large degree, but I do want to give it some perspective. Please keep in mind, this is the exact same way that we train mice. How does that make you feel? What sets us apart as human beings is our ability to respond to the most powerful motivational force on this entire planet, and it's not power, money, or fame. It's a sense of purpose. Why we do what we do means everything to us as human beings. The meaning behind it, the reason that we attach to it. So right away, if you want to get more out of what you do, if you want to take what success you have right now and look at that as merely a launching pad for what's next, remember and remind your teams of why you do what you do. The people whose lives are made better, the stories that happen, the lives are sometimes saved in some cases by what you do. There's a story I always like to share of two insurance salesmen walking down the street. Somebody says, what do you guys do for a living? One says, well, I sell insurance. And the other goes, no, I take care of your family when you can't. Purpose versus job. So the question is, which one are you? And trust me, the greatest impact, influence, and income in life comes when there's that sense of purpose. We know that the client who's sitting across from us has all kinds of desires and needs and wants, and when you can fulfill those, you can jump into their world and make those happen. You give them, as I said earlier, hope. That's what people are looking for, and they're looking to you from that. So, if there's a meaning and there's a reason for the way we spend our time, I want you to think about the way you spend your time. Just sum it up in general, your life over the last month, and just answer this question to yourself. Are you driving with the brakes on? In some area? Are you driving with the brakes on? My suspicion is that the answer is yes. I don't know that for you. I know that for me. I'll just be confessional. This is true for me. I have to teach this because I have to remember this. I'm guilty of that. Oh, yeah. Kinda. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it. Maybe tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. You know, it's a push-pull with the brakes. Causes us to move sideways. And I don't want that for you. So the third tool is a way to take the brakes off and to make everything else that we've talked about happen. It is simply this. Become a virtuoso. Become a virtuoso. I should say that in Italian. A virtuoso in the music world is someone of mastery level skill. Someone who wakes up in the morning making the decided choice for excellence so often, it's not even a choice anymore. It just becomes who you are. So let's say the same thing. Virtuoso in non-musical terms, it means resolve to be the best. Make the choice to become the best, and I don't mean that compared to anyone else. I mean your personal best. When I learned this, when someone basically challenged me on this, my mentor, a guy named Brian Tracy, I measure my life from before and after this choice. Because afterwards, I decided anything that makes me better, I want it. And to be clear, I'm not saying I am a virtuoso at all. I am saying I'm on the path. I've chosen to be on that path. And I can tell you a lot about the path. The first thing I can tell you about the path is most adults never make this decision, even successful people. Instead of rising to the best, they rise to acceptable, whatever that is for them. Okay? And I'm not talking about success or failure. The opposite of virtuoso isn't failure. The opposite of virtuoso is competent. There are many competent people. There are precious few virtuosos. But again, the greatest influence, impact, and income in life happen between competent and virtuoso. So that means from this moment on, anything that makes you better, you're going to get it. And if we talk about a great opportunity for networking, there are people in here who do well what you need to learn. Why not ask them? And there are people here who need to know what you do well. Why not share it with them? Talk about opportunity for networking and connection, teamwork. So, let's bring this all around. I want you to open up the possibilities, because they're there. They're right in front of you, by asking the question, what if? What if I could do that? I know it's crazy, but what if we did this? How would it work? From those possibilities, choose one. Write music that you can't play. Goals that just empower you, that make you feel excited. And to make that goal happen, to make everything else happen that you want to truly serve your clients, make the choice to become a virtuoso, your personal best. Because your clients deserve that. They really do. Now, I want to share a story. My father passed away about 3 years ago. And it was sad, but it was not unexpected. And when he did, my siblings and I were going through his things, and we found a whole side to my dad that we never knew anything about. We found Tony Robbins motivational tapes, and this was not my dad, okay? We found plans for businesses that it would, we found, and I brought these. These are literally his. Memory power, boost your memory, learning cassettes. You can see it's on VHS and cassette, okay? You can also see VHS and cassette. Can you see the problem with these? They're not opened. One could argue that he forgot to open the memory power cassettes. But more importantly, he had the inspiration. This is sad to me. I love my father. We healed all our wounds. We did great. But what's sad to me is that he had the inspiration. And he even set out a little ways. I mean, he bought this, but he never acted on it. Don't come to an awesome event like this and hear information that moves you or ideas or come up with it and take them back and not act on them. Take it and do something with it. Choose one and make it happen. I guarantee you, it will be unbelievably successful for you. I'm going to do one more illustration. I heard I was playing at we'll back up. This was a request that I thought was crazy. And usually you can tell I make a joke about it. But this one I went, okay, what if? And I tried it seriously. I was playing at a ski lodge in Virginia, which, like, ski lodge in Tampa. Some snow, not a lot. And I'm just messing around, and this lady changed my life with this request. Crazy, good song, crazy request. She asked me to play The Devil Went Down to Georgia, the Charlie Daniels, story of a fiddle battle. And I said, no, I said, lady, she was unimpressed. So I went for it. What if, right? I jumped in. I had to fake my way through the lyrics or whatever. But I tried it. Both the people that night enjoyed it. And it was a long time ago, but it was a really seminal moment. So I actually remember their names. Mom and Dad were those. So as I said, it's a guitar version of The Devil Went Down to Georgia. And I'm going to give you one simple way to act on becoming a virtuoso if you've made that choice, if you really want to do that. I have something called Virtuoso Tips, which I send out every Tuesday morning. It's absolutely free. All you got to do is write your email address or give me a card, hand it to me after the program. I'll be glad to answer questions or whatever. You can unsubscribe at any time. I send it out every Tuesday morning. You've noticed that my attention span, squirrel, I get to the point. So they're not real long. Anyway, and last but not least, I wasn't sure what to expect coming all the way to Whistler. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for making me a part of this. Everyone on the team, you've been fantastic. I wish you guys the very best. Here we go. This is The Devil Went Down to Georgia. Behind, he's willing to make a deal. When he came across this young man sawing on a fiddle and playing it hot, the devil jumped up on a hickory stump and said, boy, let me tell you what, I guess you didn't know it, but I'm a fiddle player too. And if you care to take a dare, I'll make a bet with you. Now you play pretty good fiddle, boy, but give the devil his due. I bet a fiddle of gold against your soul, because I think I'm better than you. The boy said, my name's Johnny, and it might be a sin, but I'll take your bet. You're gonna regret. I'm the best it's ever been. Johnny, you rousing up your bow and play your fiddle hard. Hell's broke loose in Georgia and the devil deals the cards. If you win, you get the shiny fiddle made of gold. If you lose, the devil gets your soul. The devil opened up his case and he said, I'll start the show. And fire flew from his fingertips as he rosined up his bow. He pulled the bow across the strings and it made an evil hiss. Sounds something like this. When the devil finished, Johnny said, you're pretty good, old son, but sit down in that chair right there and let me show you how it's done. Fire in the mountain, run, boys, run. Look in the house, the rise of the sun. Brick pan picking out dough. Things you don't buy, no child, no. comes in. Every time I look at you, hey, do it. Play that funky music, white boy. Yeah. Thank you. When the devil finished, Johnny said, "You're pretty good, old son." Wait a second. I've been putting songs where they don't belong all morning. We should put a few that don't belong here. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound to save a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know I'm one. There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from a tropic port aboard this tiny ship. The mate was a mighty sailing man, the skipper brave and sure. 5 passengers set sail that day for a 3-hour tour. Well, a hip hop, hip it to the hip hop. You don't stop, a rocket to the bang man, the boogie say up jump, the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie hip beat. Now lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance. Don't blow this opportunity. Comes once in a lifetime. You better lose yourself. When you can take a personality disorder and turn it into a career. Well, the devil bowed his head because he knew that he'd been beat. He laid that golden fiddle on the ground at Johnny's feet. Johnny said, "Devil, just come on back if you ever want to try again, because I done told you once, you son of a gun, I'm the best it's ever been." And he played, "Fire in the night, run, boys, run. Just in the house, arouse the sun. Brick pan picking out dough. Things you don't buy no child knows." Thank you. My people, thank you guys so much. You're awesome. Have a great day, man. This is going to be great. Thank you.
All right. Ooh, that was awesome. Managing change is not only stupid, it's dangerous. The only way to manage change is to create it. I like that. Write music you can't play. So I said, what if? What if LFA were to transform and revolutionize itself in the financial planning industry in the face of DOL? So what do you think about that? Yeah. Let's give Mike another round of applause.